The festive season, such as this Christmas one, is very engaging and busy, but at the same time can easily, leave out someone unintentionally, and especially those living with disabilities. Hello everybody, and welcome to Naomi's All-Inclusive World, where today I'll be looking at some of the few things we need to consider so that we make sure we involve everybody in these festivities, and especially those living with disabilities. Now, the festivity involves a lot of, first of all, moving around, a lot of, decor, a lot of celebrations and eating and so on. And these movements and maneuvers can easily look like a burden to some who live with disabilities, and especially those who live with physical disabilities. But realistically, it shouldn't. We can still enjoy, have a wonderful season, and still involve everybody around us, together with those who happen to live with disabilities. Now, depending with the disability at hand, let them also do what they can. Say, for example, during the decor, during the decorations and putting up flowers and the Christmas tree and all those things, our family members who happen to have a disability or two can always do something. Say, for example, if it is one who, say, happens to have physical mobility issues, let them, for example, sit down and be the ones who are listening to the songs that are going to sing, so that they see if there's any problem. They help in confirming that the collection is good. You see, that actually will help them in not moving around a lot, but still will make them part of the party. So again, look at what someone can do depending with the disability they have, so that they are still engaged. Like, for example, I might not be able to help in the cooking if, say, I struggle with a disability to do with my vision, but I can actually help with, something like, like I said, listening to the music and making sure like the collection is okay. Like also just engaging visitors that have come, because I don't need to have eyes to engage visitors, do I? So let's always try to make sure that we are bringing them on board. Another way that will also make them feel like they're part of the festive season and also just part of the family is concentrate and maximize on their abilities, on their strengths that they have. Like I said earlier on, everybody has their area of strength. So say, for example, your aunt happens to have a physical mobility issue and she has to maneuver around on a wheelchair. She definitely has another strength. For example, something like that, like let her actually help the other person who is confirming and wiping the cutlery and preparing the cutlery, to be arranged on the table. She can actually help, wipe the cutlery while she sat. She can help count and make sure the plates and the spoons and everything are enough according to how many are invited. They actually have their strengths as well. So let's maximize on them and just make sure that we take them along. They have a disability, they're not sick. So let's treat them as such, and they are part of us as well. When setting up a venue for an event, say for example you have an NDA event, you have a Christmas event and so on, have them in mind when you are settling on a venue. Take an example of, say, we have two family members who happen to struggle with, physical disability, and they have difficulties moving around. You could actually put that venue to be somewhere on ground floor, whether it's indoors or outside in the field. Put it on ground floor. It will help them, instead of you putting that event, say, upstairs, somewhere on second floor, something like that, so that their moving around is not a burden to them, number one. Number two, is not also going to have to call someone else to help them go up the stairs and down. So just a few of those alterations that will make everybody enjoy. Or again, even something like, for example, if one of the family members has a visual impairment, where again here, remember, visual impairment is very relative. We have people who are partially blind and they have a small percentage where they can see, others are totally, without vision ability and so on. In such a case, try to put most of these events during the day, so that a family member who happens to be visually impaired but can still see what's going on, say for example in good light, will also be part of the enjoyment when the event, when the festive season, when the celebration is during the day and we have natural light. You know, it might not seem much, but it means the world to them. Another way that we can also make sure we don't look like we've left them out intentionally or otherwise is, say for example, if the festivities are at hand, if the celebration at hand has a dress code, make sure they also are brought on board. Make sure they also go with the dress code if it has a dress code. You know, the way like we have weddings and birthdays and so on that have a certain dress code, or the color of the day and so on. Make sure they also go along with that. I mean, if we're printing t-shirts that are in a certain color, make sure even they have. If we are doing a certain design of the cloth, let them also be part of that, so that then they don't stand out and draw unnecessary attention for not being like the rest of you. So just things such as those, make sure they go together with the dress code if there is any. Make sure something like that and so on, and it makes them also feel like they are part of them. Another thing is just like any other human being will feel good when they are acknowledged for their effort, when they are rewarded for their effort and so on. Make sure you acknowledge persons who happen to have disabilities among us when they do well. When Alan has done a very good decor, has helped in putting up that beautiful decor, acknowledge that. If the team members are getting any gift for the effort, for making sure this came, for making sure and so on, make sure you acknowledge them too. It always just makes any human being feel appreciated and noticed when you acknowledge their effort. And it's not a different case when it comes to our family members and friends who happen to have a disability here and there. And lastly, when they ask for help, say in the event of planning a celebration this festive season and so on, and when a person who happens to live to have a disability asks for help in something, they're not asking to be replaced. They're just asking for help in what they are doing. So when someone reaches out this festive season and they're asking, like, they need a hand, they need that equipment brought and so on, please don't be quick to replace them. Bring in someone else who is, say, physically able, who is able to do this and leave them on the side. No, just make sure you help them, you give them the help they're asking for, and let them be the ones completing that task at hand. It makes everybody feel good. So guys, once again, please remember to bring everybody on board this festive season. The children, those ones who happen to have disabilities, those ones who are recovering from different things and so on. And even as we continue observing the COVID protocol and the requirements, because really we need to stay alive to be able to see 2022, let's remember to just bring everybody on board, including those who happen to live with disabilities. I hope this helps you know that you are doing the right thing. If you are not, just work on something to better everybody's stay and celebration this year. And let's keep enjoying this festive season. Thank you very much, and please remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Put on the notification bell so that every time I throw in an episode, you are the first one to know that. And when you have a moment, please drop me a comment and let me just know how you are trying to how you're involving everybody around you this festive season in the celebrations, especially those who happen to live with disabilities. Asante.